So guys, how do you like the Purge that I predicted almost a year ago? But you have to collect clues if you want to know that the Purge is happening and remind yourself every single time. You might not want to forget because we will have to clean this shit up after it's all done, after people done doing stupid things, like riot is a stupid thing. Protest it's somewhat acceptable, like you can just ignore protests. But yeah, guys.
Stand by as a further 30 riots have been planned around the UK. An army of 6,000 riot officers are bracing to intervene as the Enough is Enough events set for tomorrow night. Police have intelligence
Enough is enough, I lost control, isn't it?
on 30 areas.
Mask up. Well, if you're doing a crime, you need a mask, absolutely. Now people are willingly putting on the mask instead of the COVID mandate, asking them to do so. So yeah, it's a very interesting apocalyptic bullshit going on in UK only, mind you. But if it's happening in one place, it's gonna, the cloud is gonna move to other places too. It's pretty nasty. You have to be prepared for it. You have to be observing these things. Nobody cares about me, though, so I don't know. My self-esteem of delivering the news is gonna be pretty hard to come by. Especially when I myself am suffering from bikers swarming the place where I live. Some fucking dude starting to live since the fucking December, and the child is crying so hard that they made themselves known immediately, and I made myself known as well, immediately too. That I exist and I am full of anger and I want to stop by any means necessary. Any resource, any excess resource I have, I will throw at dogs, I will throw at all these fucking motorcycles, and even if I have extra, I will throw at a fucking train. I will throw at lawnmowers and all that bullshit. Any resource, any man power that I have, I will try and create actual peace. Because apparently peace is a literal word. Is literal. Literal. Demons are very loud and stupid. And they do destruction, basically. And definitely riot does not mean smart. Alright? Holy shit. It means, more like idiots. It sounds like that. You just need to check the idea. Oh yeah, it's the same thing. So we're gonna get even more clues, because shit is happening. And now we have a whole country planning to destroy itself, basically, for whatever reason. The thing is, it's both sides at war. People are labeled far right are at war because they don't know how to solve problems, because nobody wants to learn how to solve problems right now. We just learn how to cause problems and shut up about it. And the other side is migrants who just want to riot because they don't give a fuck. They're just there to destroy things. They're not sentimental about UK in any way. So we have both sides just ready for pure destruction, basically. I mean, and how are you gonna solve a single problem with this? You can't. But the problem is, like, to destroy something like decent, like a fucking government building, that's voting right there. Like, if you riot and destroy government-controlled buildings, disrupt their, ability to control, yeah, go for it. That's what it's all about. Then riot is justified. But if you destroy civil property, you're a piece of shit. You're getting in the way. You're scaring people. You're not actually doing your fucking job. If you're angry, then you're angry at the government. Nothing else should be the target at this point. Honestly. Because, like, if government is trying to silence people, if government throws police to try and stop you, like, they did that with farmers. Farmers have been rioting since day one of the Purge. Farmers did it first. you're not fucking special. In fact, no one is scared of UK people. The only fucking privilege they have is they know English, they can communicate with each other faster, and they can actually collaborate on the, leading the purge. The other countries would lead afterwards, but they have to be able to communicate with each other, which is so much harder when you don't speak English, when you don't speak the language of the internet, right? So now everyone's talking about this shit, and they care because UK is a big deal, right? That's the whole point. There's a lot of context to actually go through and learn and be aware of.
Plotting carnage after a string of demonstrations.
I haven't even watched this thing, by the way.
Saw officers
I just know, it's just like, this is the obvious thing. Great. Riots. Purge.
hit with.
So it's not a riot, it's just the purge. It's like, do random things of destruction. That's what purge naturally is known for. Trying to clean things is the final stage of the purge, is cleaning everyone who's violent. Because it's the psych moment. It's the psych, we got you, basically. Psych, you are going to jail. That's the psych moment. Because potentially countries can collaborate too. Maybe UK has full prisons, but other countries do not have full prisons. So that's where you go. You know, like, why would UK complain about full prisons? Sounds like a fucking stupid deal. Full prisons? Really? Is that your problem? I don't think so. But definitely sounds like government corruption to me. Definitely sounds like government needs to, be cornered a little bit and squeeze out a few more farts before we can trust the government. So I'm like, yeah, good. Riots exist. Try to stop them, lol. Why is purge predictable? I don't know. It just is. We have the wind element of COVID. Co-wind. Cow wind. They're coming from China, then we have the Russian invasion. Like, it's all dominoes falling together, and I was able to predict exactly how it's gonna look like, how Europe is gonna activate the whole thing, and it is happening in Europe, in the core of Europe, which is UK, the most powerful country. The next country to fall is either Sweden into riots, or Germany, or France. But France is doing their own thing, Olympics. They're occupied right now. They're focusing on other things to screw up, basically. I put my little face so to make people happier.
Said Wednesday is going to be a busy day. Tomorrow night's fears come after a Telegram channel told it.
Busy day. You should be moving to another place to live. Like, this is not normal human behavior. Technically, the best way to deal with the purge is run away. It's a little bit bad. You must not leave anything behind, because it's gonna get purged too, potentially. If you leave a fucking empty room, it's gonna be purged for all... well, potentially, right? If shit is under attack. Like, this has to be treated... Yeah, apocalypse. Here you go. That's the perfect sound. Right? It is what it is. I don't know how we will survive, but Europe is now being challenged by all of these things, and I have to pay attention. I have to fight every fucking day. I hear the unusual sounds of bikers zooming around the place and just stealing all the self-esteem. And, yeah, they will have to probably be killed. I don't know. Tortured or something. So we get all our self-esteem back, because they just don't deserve to live. And pretend that they just, like, on top of the world, getting away with everything. The only reason why they're getting away with things is because no one is organizing anything at all. No one is even talking about it. No one has any reason to just wake up one day and be like, oh, there's a lot of bad guys, actually, we have to stop. I had to call police 4 times for other reasons. I would have to call police like 10 more times to clean up the fucking mess that is going around. Just to explain the magnitude of things. But I don't know if I should take all this responsibility when No one else cares. And that fucking pisses me off, you know? Like, at least care. At least, like, thank me later. At least anticipate that I will do a magical call and I talk to the police. No one fucking cares or organizes anything at all, and, like, it's just gonna get worse. It's just gonna be half normalized and half very, very painful. But one of the biggest points, and this is the way I depict Purge, you attack the weakest points of human ability to travel, to do things. You attack the tires. That's it. Just pop the tires, and all of a sudden, you're fucking screwed. Without tires, you just have a bike. You can't even travel you cannot move an entire baggage of things from your house. You cannot save your stuff. You gotta be careful. When you see this happening, you have to run. You have to leave somehow. Or you have to create extra protection with your garage and everything. Nothing can be exposed, but that's still very risky. When this shit is happening massively, when you hear car after car getting fucking popped, because I have seen people now slashing tires, which is like, yeah, full purge, maximum purge alert. If I was issuing alerts across the country, you see 2 tires get, slashed, or an imagery of that, or a riot to go alongside with it, it's max purge until all of the fucking shit stops. Right? Until all people are just happy and there's no drama going on. And with UK, it's fucking doomed. You know that shit is gonna last for months and months. And this is starting at like middle of summer, so like, congratulations. This will take a little bit of time to resolve. UK is in full max purge. You should escape. You should have tried to escape a long time ago because UK prices are just insane in terms of rent, I imagine. Like, people have been crying about it the whole time. You should be running away from there the whole fucking time. You probably would be a lot safer in the jungle than in UK right now. I don't know, man. That's the vibe. It depends on your preference, and most of you guys probably not from UK, so whatever. But, I touched Farage Barrage, guys. Dudes came out on TikTok saying like, voting is the way to solve problems, not right. Man, this is some degenerate bullshit. Government is always selling a solution that has nothing to do with anything. Voting is not a solution to anything. Voting is just pretending to yourself that you did something when you did absolutely nothing, and no one cares even. Who you vote for, none of that matters, or, anyone cares about it. We talk about it, we pretend to care, because some people are getting scammed by the stupid bullshit of voting, but like, literally, dude, I hate it when I made this video. Half of it is hatred towards the dude, and half of it is like, yeah, cool, you're talking about issues and stuff, like, whatever. Somewhat justified. Yeah, you can listen to this video, I mean, that's a thing you can do. But right now, things are, newsworthy, happening right now.
Its followers to mask up for raids at 39 locations.
Again, mask makes it criminal immediately. You're now acting on a criminal behavior. You're sacrificing yourself. Because what government should be doing technically is just full on fighting back. If people are masking up, like, you should be shot at. To be honest, you should be shot at. The fact that people can get away with this shit. Like, if you massively mask up, like, you're not even a criminal level, you're pretending that you're gonna get away. And that should just irritate the government beyond belief. They have the military capacity to just, like, shoot at people. And they should do it. To shut you up. In the terms of violence, they should try and stop it, just like Sniper Wolf stopped Jack's films from pissing around all across YouTube, basically, just aiming and squirting his piss all over the place. She just fucking shot him in the foot. You know, that's how you do it. That's how you solve problems versus violent criminals. You shot them in the foot at least. At least. Sometimes you don't have patience, you shoot them in the fucking face. I don't know, man. So the government is actually allowing a little bit of a security breach. Yes, it's called martial law, but it's necessary to destroy riots. Like, riots have to be destroyed, but government is too weak. And in terms of COVID, I wouldn't say government was too strong, but we were too weak. We were too weak to say no. Like, what's the point? What's the point? The fear is going to be stronger than the actual the virus, right? The fear is going to spread faster than the virus, and it's going to kill a lot of people faster, because that's the whole point. The fear is going to freeze a lot of people. So the government was strong, but we were too weak. The free-minded people were too weak, and now the government is too weak to actually fucking stop these fools from doing stupid things. And I don't trust the government. Like, I can't just call police and be like, hey guys, we have another one that you really want to know about. Another fucking piece of shit running around at 11 p.m., 12 p.m., ruining people's sleepy time. Come and catch him, you know, because the fucking roaches. These people are roaches. Like, these are very difficult to catch people as well, despite having a colored motorcycle, which is very unusual for, you know, for a car to be colorful. You know, that's a flex. Even black cars are a criminal offense because they are hard to identify. A fucking black car. You don't understand, dude, how deeply we are being fucking bombarded by criminal activity. An inability to identify a human being as quickly as possible, that is obstruction of justice. That is something that should be punished as a fine. If there's too many black cars, all of them get fined $50. Give me $50, bro. But government should also issue, you know, rewards for being a good fucking citizen as well. So we don't just get fined and everyone just cries of like, why is fines everywhere? And then just issue some, you know, payments too. Government is strong enough to do that. In fact, government is strong enough right now to issue rent payments so people can get their first place to live in a certain location. What government doesn't want more people? Certain governments, I imagine they do, and they want legal people to work and have a place to live and be happy, right? In their place. This is the greatest flex of all time. The greatest flex the government can actually pull off and solve a problem of homelessness and all that shit, right? So why, I've never heard a government program that just does that, just creates housing for people who don't have it. Most importantly, they have to live there. And if you don't live there, you lose the privilege of, you know, getting paid to do so almost. Because it's technically free, right? Or technically very cheap, like rent. There's some, with some obligations. How government can't do that? How government can do schools to some extent is still fucking questionable why schools even exist anymore. But housing, government didn't step in to fucking solve housing during the apocalypse. That's scary to me. Because someone has to be stepping in and solving problems when that shit happens. I don't want to see nothing happening during the apocalypse. Nothing good happening during the apocalypse. Of course, I will grow. I will grow max speed. I know how to solve problems. I know how to react to problems. I'm not going to be a PC-washy, run around, say random things no matter what's going on. Just care selfishly about myself. No, I understand that win-win situations exist in life. And if I help someone else, they will help me most of the time. It's weird right now because I don't trust the most of the time analogy because I don't trust social interactions anymore. But that's the win-win mechanism. You help someone else, you bond with them, and you ask them for favors in return. You can extract something out of them. And technically, if you can, you don't help them no more. Because help shouldn't be just like dumping a bunch of money onto someone. Mostly just about giving them a job and then paying for it. That's help. That's what I understand help to be. This is a complicated issue, and nobody caring about anything I say ever, like, pisses me off. Technically, if I just post shit on TikTok, someone's gonna find it. That's how TikTok works. On YouTube, it's also hard to be found unless you are a keyword specialist, basically. You find the special keywords of who's popular, paste that face on the thumbnail, here you go, you get views. So, I'm in the wrong place doing the wrong thing, but that's the whole point. Someone has to discover and do the work of pulling my fucking information out into the open. Someone else has to do it. Someone else has to do something, you know, productive. Someone has to discover knocking on doors and asking, is everything okay? Offering some tiny things or whatever. Offering to connect with services, or, you know, you have something to sell. Like an apartment. Who fucking cares? But knocking on people's doors, not just leaving notes of like contact information, basically. But how do you do it properly? That's the hard fucking part, for sure. See, I've been in a gathering, a like neighborhood gathering. Some fucking old women sat down, a bunch of women basically sat down to talk about like, oh, we're gonna collect some money and we're gonna restore some fucking pipes. Bullshit. Is that it? No news? No information has been gathered to talk about and spread to those who actually were patient enough to come down into the gathering of like, what the fuck? What was the point? Just talk about one thing. One thing that just like people generally agree with anyways. They will pay for it. And it's gonna be done. And blah blah blah. The rest is fucking garbage. The rest is us turning our heads around and like, what? Is that it? Everyone is trying to gather and like, we don't even get rewarded. We're just like, oh, we're gonna take some money for this thing. Where are the opportunities? What are the things? Where at least someone talking about problems of like noise happening. There's a fucking dog barking at any hour for a certain amount of time. Dog NPCs are everywhere, and I hate all of them now. To the max. Because they're just fucking weirdos, man. People who love dogs, man, like now they're just fucking assholes. For sure. There's no cat NPCs. Catwoman? I'll give her money for existing alone. In fact, it's the opposite that's happening right now. Cats, we're being told not to feed them. That's great. Wonderful news. Cats, a thing that does not give me any trouble is something that we actually discriminate. With dogs, the fucking shit all over, bro. With their stupid ass mouths. Holy crap. We have to actually listen to that. And there's no complaints about anything or no news. This is the shit that I am living in right now. There's nothing I can do because I don't have a fucking companion. My mom is a turd. My mom is just a blob living in her own room, barely fucking existing. I can't fucking do anything without a companion. I don't have any self-esteem whatsoever. I can only like move to a certain place. I don't have the ability to do even that, right? If I can't have those two things, or at least one of them, if I was able to move, I would move immediately. If I was able to communicate and voice my demands, I would do that immediately because I don't even have a choice, right? Instead, I can only sit and watch and observe and hope that we don't get in trouble. You know, because some people already tried in the middle of the fucking house. I have to remind you guys, in the middle, between 1 and 15, there's a room called 8, and in the middle of the whole fucking place, there was just a banger across the whole fucking night going on. Music that I had to stop. I was the dude to call the fucking police on these people. And it's like, I don't know how it's resolved, but I don't no longer hear the problem anymore. What happened? I have no idea. I have no idea what's going on. That's how fucking big of a problem this is. Like, this is beyond imagination. No one said a thing. No one knocked on my door and said a thing. I was offered to be like, oh, do you want police to come to you? It's like, it's a lot of pressure to talk to police. I don't know. I don't know if I'm ready for it right now. It's madness, bro. It is madness what I have to live through this year. And that's just me, bro. That's just me, a fighter for actual fucking change of what actually has to happen. Everything has fallen apart. We all have expectations that someone else is going to take care of us. But that's not exactly going to be the case if you can't even raise your hand and ask a question. You can't even do that. I don't have a companion who fucking understands the responsibility of raising a hand and asking questions. I want to see that happen. I don't want to be the dude who does all of this shit myself. I can't do it. Because now I will have a responsibility dumped on me because I'm super smart and super fucking capable. Holy crap, man. Instead, that responsibility would also evolve into me being rude to everyone and being hated by everyone. And that's a consequence that sounds like pretty fucking bad, to be honest. Like some dude just hits 30 years old and all of a sudden has to come out and just fucking herd sheep, herd all these old women like sheep. Like I am the fucking smart enough person to do it. That's the level of responsibility. Herd like fucking 50 old women at this point. I don't know, man. Pinch my cheeks as a reward. Oh, actually, it's a punishment. Funny.
Locations.
But they will call that a reward. Funny money, guys.
Including London, Birmingham, and Manchester. Yesterday, Keir Starmer vowed a standing army of specialist cops will be on hand to descend on the riots. Intelligence units are also monitoring social media and going after TikTokers responsible for serious offending and organizing attacks on hotels housing migrants and mosques.
No need, just shoot at them. It's so much easier than fucking tracing, and handcuffing people. It's fun, like shit is burning, bro. Shit is being destroyed. You gotta fucking shoot these motherfuckers down until they stop trying to do that. You know, the best way to solve problems is usually leave the troubled area. That's the best way to vote. That's the most democracy you will ever find, is existing in a specific location. Right? Every location is different across the world. But usually when you migrate, you might end up homeless, which is very fucking weird. And it's just another thing that makes no sense. Like, nothing makes sense anymore. So I don't know how you exactly solve this, but I can just say governments be stronger and do better things. It's the government's responsibility in most issues to protect and deal with security breaches. This is one of those things. It's always, the purge is always going to be a security breach. It's always just some fucking losers finding a way to create havoc across certain areas. Don't think if anyone you know is a part of this, don't fucking think they're doing anything good. That anything good coming out of this. They're all losers. Unless they attack government, fuck yeah, let's go. You go in the right direction. That's where I want you to go. Fight that. Overthrow the government if you're so fucking OP. Because, like, think about it. Like, riots, violence, where are you gonna direct it to make the most fucking damage without offending anyone? The government. Attack that. They're the weak ones. They're the guilty ones. They're not doing their job. But when they do their job, you know, a lot of heads will explode.
39
Riots are always violent. There's no such thing as non-violent riots. What are you talking about?
immigration
There's a protest and a riot is a different thing. Yeah, just the opportunity has been achieved. Just put on a mask and like start looting, basically. Although I don't know what the fuck's going on. Not everyone is wearing a mask. Why, just like one smashed window.
A song or something?
Even sounds like fake to me.
Markets around the world are crashing today due to fears that a US recession is on the way. Japan just lodged its worst two-day decline in their history. The Nikkei index dropping a staggering...
Yeah, I want to double check on Dylan because he has the news things. We might even progress.
It's now being
the
reported
purge.
that the AS-25...
Oh no, that's so bad.
Okay, breaking news. Japan has just been hit by a powerful 7.1 magnitude earthquake, and it has now also triggered a tsunami warning. So, the riots in England, UK's second largest news network, had a segment this morning where they discussed the idea of banning social media during the unrest. So, here's what's going on. 6,000 riot plea unrest.
You will get the news. Purge level 156 has been reached. Everything is going up and up and up until people fucking realize how to stop the damn idiots. They have to be attacked. They have to be attacked back. Some fucking big ass just mass attack on everyone. Everyone who's masked supposed to be attacked by the government. Government has to be clapping back. Then we don't even stop there. We continue attacking anyone who even fucking suggests any fucking drama at this point. Any noise being made. Then we can spread the attack across other countries and actually purging all the criminals out of here somewhere else. We can dump them somewhere else. Fucking Iceland needs more population. Alright? Just dump all the criminals in this fucking island. Let them have it. You know? Then we're good. You know? All the migrants, they get fucking purged. We get all the violent migrants who think rioting is fun out of here. We get all the fucking shitty people, basically, just scooped up and thrown out of here. That's what's supposed to be happening. The government should be attacking back and realizing that that's their responsibility. Because a bunch of losers come up with some stupid ideas of being very angry on something and doing destructive things, not understanding that they're biting their own fucking hands off, their own location where they live, being attacked and being fearful of what's going on. Like, it's gonna be a terrible place to live. It's lowering the quality of life in that area. So purge level continues, guys.
1,000 riot police have been drafted to roughly 35 cities today as they braced the 8th day of chaos. Multiple countries have now put travel warnings on their citizens visiting the UK, including Thailand, Nigeria, Australia, Malaysia, India, and Indonesia. Members of the British Parliament have been told to consider not coming in and to work from home. The first group of people arrested for being involved in the riots appeared in court yesterday. The oldest was almost 70, while the youngest was only 14 years old. 100 people out of the 400 so far far arrested have now officially been charged, and plans for extra prison spaces have now been accelerated. The director of public prosecutions warned influencers not just in the UK but around the world, if anyone contributes or stokes the violence online, his teams will go as far as to consider extraditing them to the UK to face criminal charges if necessary. Workplaces have been shutting down or warning employees to stay at home after police caught wind of potential attacks being plotted on 13.
And that's a little scary across the world. It's a little extreme to call for across the world. That's like the stupidest statement I've ever heard. Like, okay, government, not only you're weak, but also stupid. Like, people just gonna do it on purpose. People just gonna, like, across the world, like, okay, you want to find me and let my government fucking expedite me into... That's weird. It's this intimidation, level of intimidation, like, no, just, like, fight this stupid thing that's happening. Like, the government just throwing all the things that are not supposed to be thrown, trying all the things, and they will just realize that they're cornered, they have to just fight back with what they have it for a reason. It's given to them for a reason. Civil war? Fuck it, bro. If that's where it's escalating, you know, then you deserve that. Because it didn't fucking explain to people what is being done. You know, this is maximum intimidation, direct intimidation of, like, people who dare to actually do violence in the streets and scare people. They will get shot at. They will get stopped. It's one way or the other, bro. Police can electrocute a person to stop them from holding fucking weaponry and all that shit. Why is it not being massively fucking done this way? Why, when we have a mob of armed people who are obviously dangerous, armed or masked people, why is government not doing the same exact thing as they would do to one person? How difficult is that? Oh, it's a blob, though. It's very difficult. No, it's not. It's blob of fucking garbage.
9 premises that assist immigrants, refugees, or asylum seekers. And as for the shutting down of social media, well, that idea was presented this morning on ITV's Good Morning Britain, with one side arguing the spread of misinformation on social media is fueling this violence, so safety has to be put first and shutting it down for a few days could be necessary. While the other side argued that you can't deal with this by
degeneracy.
Shutting down
Again, anytime innocent people gonna be affected by this shit, degeneracy. Absolute degeneracy. The wrong solution. They're just fucking tiptoeing around and wasting time. And any time wasted, more and more problems gonna occur. They're getting themselves cornered. They will have to shoot back against the fucking boogeyman. They have to fight back. At some point. And when they realize that they have to fight back, they will do it full force. But any tiptoeing is gonna fucking cost them so fucking much right now.
And free speech, so that we would be following the likes of China, Russia, and North Korea who implement these measures. So the question is, what do you guys think?
Yep. China, boys.
This needs to...
That's how China does it. You know, China knows how to make government very strong.
Stop.
It's just how they do it. But they knew how to build a country so it's allowed for them to have a strong government that does not get into problem like this. Europe does not have a strong government, and you can see again tiptoeing around instead of actually tackling the problem head on, finding it and knowing how to establish it in the first place. In China, everything gets reported across anywhere you fucking live. Anything happens that people don't like, I imagine they get reported. Or they get an opportunity to report whatever they don't fucking like. Just type in message, government will fucking find it. Here in Europe, you can't report nothing. You don't even know if the government actually exists. If anyone is responsible for anything at all. That's how Europe works, guys. There's an illusion of government, but now that the purge is happening, it's weird. It gets weird of like, where's the government? Who do you call Ghostbusters at this point? Probably gonna have more help from Ghostbusters. I'm not saying it's bad, it's just the structure of Europe where individuality is allowed. But when individuals start buying weapons and start bothering other people, the individuality does not work anymore, and it becomes weaponized against everyone else who are also individualistic and don't know where to, you know, organize resistance. Because government usually is the place where resistance is organized and people are shut down. All the criminals get fucking scooped out of the face of the earth. But on Europe, it's very difficult to find where's that magical government person that actually exists, like a fucking unicorn, basically. I know I would be capable unicorn myself if I grew to that size, but right now I'm just a 30-year-old without friends or family members that have any capacity to do anything at all. Besides lay in bed and eat food, and it's still the highest level Mr. Beast challenge for them.
Okay, holy breaking news. The government in Bangladesh has just been overthrown. I'm not kidding. Here are the details. So, protesters have just stormed the Prime Minister's official
I mean, that's how you do it, at least, technically.
residence, and they started filming themselves, looting the palace, and even eating her food in the kitchen. She has now resigned, and I'll get to why that's so massive in a second, and she's fled the country to India because the protests, which you remembered I covered a few weeks ago, they kept on getting worse, they became even more deadly, and they refused to relent. So, for anyone that doesn't know, this is so incredibly massive because she has been the Prime Minister for Bangladesh for over 15 years. So if someone even a month ago said, you know, she would step down to young protesters, predominantly students, demanding her resignation, a month ago, that would have been unthinkable. But today, it happened.
Well, they knew how to fucking do it.
Needs to know about the anti-immigration riots happening in England right now, because this is the kind of situation that spreads rapidly. You see what?
To different countries? What? He just put it down as like, this is gonna spread. What? COVID? Masks? Check. Vaccines against tires in cars? Check. And rapidly spreading? Check. We have it, boys. COVID number 3, like inflation was rapidly spreading. Masks became more expensive, so you would have to buy one to sell it for more dollars later. Damn. What about injections, though? I can't think of any. Maybe inject liquid gold into yourself to make more gold. But I'm just making shit up, bro.
Small city in...
No, inject gasoline into your car. No, I can't think of anything.
response across the country, including 2 large cities like Liverpool, Hull, Bristol, Manchester, Stoke-on-Trent, Blackpool, and Belfast. Now, not all of these protests turned violent, but the ones that did were bad. Objects were thrown, shops were looted, police were attacked. An Islamic stand handing out Qurans in Liverpool was torn down, and vehicles were set on fire. And if all of that wasn't bad enough, here's the worrying part, because you have people seeing these videos of this horrific violence online and then supporting it. Because keep in mind, these riots were, yes, triggered by one event, but deep down, they are actually a product of a highly controversial topic, immigration, that has been intensifying for a while now, not just in England, but in countries around the world. And because of that, we're now also seeing pro-immigration counter-protests igniting as well, which has resulted in violent clashes between these 2 groups. Either way you look at it, we are now seeing a...
Yeah, sure. Either way, we'll look at a bunch of criminals.
super polarizing topic that was initially fueled by rapidly spread false information and extreme opinion.
It's weird, but I have to talk about immigration just a little bit. Government needs to know, and government can't just house people in hotels. That's unacceptable. The moment you house someone in hotels, you don't have control over immigration at all, and it's not supposed to be allowed for you to do it. Yeah, that's the whole point. Immediately when you heard immigrants being housed in hotels and pretty well maintained places, it's already the biggest red flag imaginable because government has to build their own fucking facilities to house people. Their own specialized places to house and teach people the culture, all these things. And integration lasts a very, very long time. Years and years integration lasts into a country. This is insanity. The massive scale of immigration that has been pulled off basically is a fucking massive scam as well. There is no pro-immigration. There's just criminal behavior allowance, just not seeing how, just feelings interfering with just hardcore logic of you wouldn't actually just add randomly another person into your home. Just another person has to live into your home. You wouldn't just randomly snap your fingers and allow that to happen. But that's just what's happening right now. Someone knocks on your door and what? You're gonna be anti allowing a person to sleep in your home? But yeah, that's pro-immigration. They're gonna punch you in the face if you don't allow a person. It's invasion into a country. On top of that, government simply does not have the capacity to massively migrate or just grab people for themselves. There's no such thing as refugee. They just have to die there because their country is disappearing. You can't save anyone. You have to, again, have specialized places where you can secure people, where you can't just migrate them into your own country thinking that that's where they belong. You have to create a safe fucking spots, military protected safe spots. Military knows how to fucking survive in the wild. They have their own special packages. They can build their own fucking cities out of these people who are refugees. Refugees don't need another country to invade. What is going on? It's just bullshit all over the place. I'm like, shit, I'm just pulling fucking weed. I'm just putting weed out of the ground right now. Because nobody else bother even talking about this. Yeah, refugees have to stay relatively close to their country so they get to rebuild it. When the fucking problems cool down, someone has to protect the military, has to step in, feed them and all that shit. But refugees don't have to just travel across the entire fucking world just to invade someone else's culture when there is no capacity to do so. Government has not built capacity to add refugees because they used hotels. That's it. That's end of fucking debate of mistakes being made. People have to acknowledge mistakes can be made. It doesn't matter how much you want people to survive, but if we do it in the wrong manner, this will happen, and this will kill a lot more people than it will save. And then it's like, oh, I wanted refugees to live a normal, cool life and stuff, and no, everyone is dying because of riots. So you didn't fucking achieve anything. There's no such thing as pro-immigration. Because this is already happening. The bad things are already happening. It is already destroying the fucking country. There's no such thing. You have to concede. But there's still a fucking a bunch of idiots creating resistance over this. It's insane. There is ability to reverse everything. Throw refugees somewhere where they belong, actually belong, next to their country. Create a peaceful place in that place. And from there you can just you recover the land that has been taken by evil forces. You can still recover because those evil forces can't fucking operate without good people. Refugees are supposed to be good people who can do good things. However, they can't just randomly invade other cultures. Their goodness would still have to be trained to learn a new language and a new way of life, and potentially higher way of life, of learning certain things to be able to hold a job in the first place. This is not just a wishy-washy, whatever you want to do happens. Problems arise because of this shit. And now we're living in it. Swamped
online now
with this shit.
last night.
Even Ukraine thing is questionable. Ukrainians speak Russian pretty much. It's a fucking Russian language, Russian dialect bullshit. I hate that shit. People can just fucking pretend that they're Ukrainians when they're speaking Russian. It's insanity to me. Even Ukraine refugees, which are refugees and not nothing else, should be questionable if they should be a part of the country. But they seem normal. They seem kind of reasonable, in a sense. And nearby there's like Russian-speaking countries, but even that should be questioned fucking hardcore mode, because most of the Ukrainians still have to fucking sit there and fight their own wars. They have to still participate in their own war. They're not allowed, because they're getting scooped up back into their own country of like, you have to fight war because you're Ukrainian. Like, so it was pointless to actually even allow all these fucking refugees from Ukraine, because they have to go back, half of them basically. Just fascinating to me, right? None of this makes sense the way we're doing things, but it is what it is, right? People are just not sensible. So that's it. But we're gonna get some extra spicy bonus meme for sure. Then you don't know what's going on. Is there a war? Or the war is gonna escalate because, oh shit, our people gonna turn into refugees and they're gonna invade whatever they want now. They're just gonna scoop up that good life that someone else created. Like, that's fucked up, man. You just don't know no more what's going on even. If you do things the wrong way, you end up destroying everything in your path. It's just like dropping a little fucking nail. When the cogs are spinning, the nail just gets caught up. Everything stops. The whole factory fucking stops, and now everyone has to inspect where the fucking fault is. You know, in fact, in case you don't tell people what you did and where the nail fucking landed, no one would even know where the fault is anymore. Just fucking tiny nail can stop an entire factory. You don't understand how mistakes can just destroy everything in their path. Unorganized behavior. For sure, bro. And it's so, yeah, it's that train derailment moment when bad shit happens. Like, you can't just allow random people in if you're not ready to do that shit. You want to, your feelings tell you that it's a good thing, doesn't mean that you have the capacity to do the good things.
Canada, I'm pretty sure, just tweeted, a few people have been talking about their rent going up over $1,000 because of this mass immigration issue. People are jaded.
Good trade-off, you know? Again, government does not control where people live at all. New people, if they want to be legal, they have to go through government institutions first and prove their, worth. Prove coherence. Just a little bit, and the government is going to be like, oh, it's hard for them to do so. They're not just magical human beings who know how to do everything correctly. Yeah, it's across the fucking country. It's kind of crazy.
The elites. It all started when Elon Musk said that what we're seeing with rioting in the UK was inevitable and that civil war is probably likely because of unchecked immigration.
Civil war, bro. With whom? With migrants? Well, the funny thing is, they're defended by the government, which they have no right to defend migrants. What the fuck is that? And the government can flex all they want against violent people, but hate is not violence. Hating something does not cause any violence. You can't make case on that shit at all. You can even hate a group, and it's just not gonna evolve into a civil war. Unless government is so fucking stubborn, it doesn't fucking care. It just wants to fight back against people just randomly, when all they have to do is just, follow orders of the people. That's the most democracy you can get, like people protesting and government not listening. Then violence is sort of justified. It's a complicated chessboard, of what gets justified. Government violence, people's violence, it's complicated. But if nothing gets changed and you have the opportunity to fight back, because a few clips we have seen, it's not, violent shit going on. People are not wearing masks. So it's a completely different thing. It's a protest thing. And that has to be respected. The most important way to protest, another way to protest, everyone knows, is to disrupt jobs. This is what farmers can threaten so heavily that they will fucking make people starve. I mean, food shortages, you don't understand. You don't understand. No one understands that shit. It's the scariest thing ever that the government can't just ignore. But, like, the question is there a government? Or is there just a bunch of fucking idiots throwing military and police all over the place? It's weird, man. All of this is very interesting and creates a precedent, for sure, of, like, maybe people need a voice of reason, and they have the capacity to skip voting because we can use social media to amplify a voice of reason. There's a lot of weird shit that might be discovered during this period. Because that's what Apocalypse is all about, is discovering the most extreme cases and extreme solutions to things. Because out of nowhere, despite the world operating in a certain way, you find in your pockets of, like, shit, I have a smartphone, we can all just, like, connect and figure out who's gonna be the spokesman, and the spokesman is gonna have incredible amount of power, basically. And if police gonna try to attack the person, like, oh shit, you do not want to do that, then the government is violent and tries to fucking put someone down. No. If they know, like, politics is politics. If you attack a leader of something, you're gonna get fucking attacked, for sure. Because people just lost the voice of reason. People don't, that has been taken away from them. So for the time being, there's gonna be war, straight up war. You can do that. You can actually organize a structure of protesting, of putting out propaganda against the government, basically. It's possible, too. A lot of things can be invented in this period, and that's what I, hope for. The Purge radio is
actually given our capital city away to his mates.
We have a growing number of young people in this country who do not subscribe to British values.
On the other hand, like, shit couldn't be any more obvious, and action should be taken immediately to please the people. I'm just saying again, like, government might not exist and might not be able to do anything at all. Like, the corrupted system could just be everywhere, and they just can't make proper decisions besides, oh, let's fight back against people and try to jail everyone who incites violence. Sure, you can say that out loud. It doesn't give you reputation on that. You can say that out loud. But what's the point? That's not the fucking solution to anything. If that's the first thing we hear, like, that's the dumbest fucking shit, that the most outrageous shit. You think you're gonna win in that sense? Like, it's so weird.
It was a migrant that come off a boat. There was almost a desperation. There was a desire for whoever did this to be a Muslim.
Well, to just send the message, it's like a bus stop. There's a desire to stop at a certain point for everyone to know what the fuck we're rioting about, right? Like, that sort of idea. It's just a logical thing. Like, that doesn't even matter. What sparked the whole thing doesn't matter, because it's what we want that matters in the end. I don't want to be bumping into foreigners at all. Like, at all. In my country, no foreigners, I would say, allowed to exist, to breathe, unless they speak English and they're very nice to everyone. I'm sorry, bro. You just, like, or they're just, like, nicer than average, which is actually pretty easy to do. I'm not exactly sure how I would react to that. Because the locals that we have, like, are horrible. But if you get even worse people, to become more uncomfortable, because, like, that's what I expect from people, or from foreigners. Like, they're not going to be average. They're going to be below average every single time. They're going to bring the quality of culture down. Because in case there's no education system to lead them. But there is an education system. It's called the internet. There's a lot of weird things that can be just, like, quickly snapped into place. It's fascinating. Ugh, ugly.
But also
Anyways, some fucking dude yapping, bro. His, suspicions of far-right and whatever. Really? I think something very important needs to happen on my channel. I have to train people to detect far-right and far-left views, because obviously those are bad. The extremism point of view is always going to be very skewed and dangerous, brain damaging. Whenever you accuse someone of being far-right and saying that that's wrong and, like, very bad, you gotta double check, you gotta pinch yourself if you're not fucking fluffing around your own fantasy world and picking up all the wrong things to counter far-right with. Like, who knows, man? How I will approach the problem, I don't know. I just know that this has to be talked about. I do know. Of course I know. It's called the spectrum problem. Right, you put the point down and you start fucking solving problems, so to speak. And at some point, solutions makes no sense because you can't actually execute them. So you're gonna do something else entirely. You're gonna either divert, or you're gonna do something violent and suspicious. Same goes on the other side. You're just gonna, like, freeze and give in all your powers into a scam, right? So there's far left, far right. Far left is giving in to someone else in someone's custody, basically allowing slavery to flourish. And migration is slavery. Immigration is slavery. If rent prices are rising, that's slavery. And far left just dominating the world and just like, oh, but there's far right, guys. There's far right. Yeah, because there's far left. This is almost justified as long as we, like, remove this faster. Like, +2 on this is great as long as we do -4 on this. You know, extremism can still be justified. Funny enough. It's gonna die out as well. Hopefully. But we definitely have extremism of we hate the most far left thing imaginable, which is immigration, which is other people stealing our shit and almost being, like, again, being treated nicely, even though, like, we don't have the capacity to do so. You're just trying to force people to treat others nicely and give them free things. Like, it gets pretty fucking weird. So, we definitely need a spectrum to analyze and understand that we're going down into this territory from this. And we're not in the extreme position yet. Not even close. We have, like, 3 more years to reach the most extreme right position. Unfortunately for them. Alright? This has been reached just before COVID. hit the floor. We hit the most far left position imaginable. The way I see in the timeline. And we're just getting started. And they have to shut the fuck up because they keep losing power if they will keep yapping that, oh, far right is super bad. You gotta fucking make trades. Make trades. You gotta give in a little bit. If you're so... But they want to give in to the government. They want to give in to all those other people that they care about. Not their own, you know? It's so fascinating to me. It's like, let's attack the white males. But that's your own people. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck, bro. Then you lose if you don't give a fuck. The moment you don't give a fuck, I mean, and you're offending a lot of people, you lose. They know that, but some of them are too stupid to admit, and some of them have been brainwashed. So yeah, I will teach people this. See you guys next time.